Good afternoon. Hello. Last night I was on somebody's talking podcast, which you can't find on here because thankfully they delete everything. Thank you, Kelly Ray, for allowing me to talk. I do get emotional when I talk sometimes because I feel so strongly about what I'm saying. And I'm a female. Although if you really knew me, you'd understand that for me to get emotional is not a regular thing for me. I was taught not to, show outward emotion, and I grew up in the era where kids were supposed to be seen and not heard. I guess we were the last ones, especially maybe my younger siblings who are 9 and 12 years younger than me, maybe not, but for us, me being the oldest, seen and not heard. So unlike today's culture, who need safe spaces, that's not what I grew up with. Okay. Somebody asked me something important about what we should do. Basically, first and foremost, in my world, I'd say spiritually get right and correct with yourself. I've seen several people when they die, and there are people who have fear when they die, and there are people who don't have fear when they die, or a lower level of it. I mean, the unknown is always a little uncertain, but under normal circumstances, God shifts you into death, and you can see it. It's almost like a preparation. It's almost like mercy for the people who are going through that. And we're all going to die. So I can't state how important it is enough to live your life in a good way, so at the end you have some peace. Now, we all make mistakes. We do. We're human. We make mistakes. But there's a difference between blatantly doing something that's wrong and doing something that's wrong, that turns out to be wrong, but you had the right intention at the time. And I've done both. Less of intentional, but we've all made mistakes because of our interactions with people that are bad, not good for us, etc. But what can we do? Get right spiritually. Get right spiritually. Secondly, prepare. Get ideas in your head of what it would be like to live without electricity. What would you do if your plumbing didn't work? What would you need if your electricity wasn't working? Have those things. Have a manual can opener. I know it sounds stupid, but something that simple can make your life very difficult. How you're going to have water, how you're going to have food, how you're going to protect yourself if things go wrong. We don't know what's coming, but since I live in an area where we have natural disasters, unfortunately, it seems on a more regular basis, there's a certain level of preparation I have anyway. for my family in case of an emergency. So everybody should be at least at that level, just for the safety of your family. What else should you do? Mainly, every day, be true to yourself. Have integrity. There are fights you don't need to initiate. You just don't. You don't aggressively come at people. But if you're asked a question, be honest in a very polite and respectful manner. And if they don't agree with you, fine. People need to stop worrying so much about what others think, and speak whatever it is that you believe. You can't make a mark in it of any kind if you're just completely silent all the time. But I'm not saying get in an argument. Just do it respectfully. Also know your opening and know the person. Read the person that you're talking to. If they're aggressive, don't continue to talk to them, or don't talk to them at all. Politely get out of the situation. If they're steadfast in their position or whatever, respectfully let them have that position. It's like growing up. I mean, I didn't agree with other people's perspectives or their religions or whatever, but if it worked for them and they were living a decent life and it was helping them, who am I to say what they should do or not do? Okay? It's not, everybody has their own journey. And maybe I'm here to affect some people's journey, but not others. Maybe their journey is exactly what it needs to be for them. I'm not sure, because I'm not omniscient, all-knowing. And I do believe in a creator that is all-knowing. I do. And I can only stress to say to do the right thing so that when you lay your head down on your pillow at night, you don't have these massive regrets on wrong actions that you have taken. Let me give you an example of what a risk is, or seemingly not a risk, but it is, and I could read the situation. I've told this somewhat before, but I was at a school where there was a teacher, a male teacher, who was a track coach, who was good looking, and everybody loved him. Everybody loved him. He could do no wrong. He had social friends within the school, that they spent time outside of the school. I was not somebody firmly implanted into that society. I had not grown up there. I'd been there a while, but I didn't have any clout, let's say. And nor do I tell people who I'm related to. You like me for me, or you don't like me. Period, end of story. I don't use any of my relatives or friends for any sort of positions. I'm not a name dropper. Okay? Turns out, I found out that he had had a relationship possibly with a student who no longer was a student. The student said that he was their first sexual experience. So I, even though it's not a current student, am obligated as a mandated reporter to report this. I could have easily have let this go because it's not even a current student. It was a student who was actually 21 years of age. a former student. Okay, this is junior high school level that I'm teaching at the time. But I went to and had a meeting with the principal, the assistant, and the counselor, and told them what I was told. And I kept my mouth shut, because if it's not true, I did not want to ruin this man's reputation at all. After I left the room, I had a really bad feeling about it. You know, that gut instinct, that little gut thing that, you know, I've discovered in time. I think that's God speaking to me, telling me, warning, warning. So I went to the assistant district attorney in the area and told him what I told the principal, the assistant, and the counselor. And that was around April 1st of that year. I noticed in my job that things were not good. They did things to me that were unprofessional. I did go speak to a lawyer just in case I would need one. I had one at the advice of the assistant district attorney, and I kept my mouth shut. In August, I was called by the assistant district attorney to come into his office, and he told me that he arrested that male teacher for 3 current male students. And he also told me that the principal, the assistant, and the counselor came into his office and had the nerve to act like they never knew anything. So they never reported it. Never reported it. And I can remember saying, well, why didn't you say that you already knew that I had been in there? And he said, well, I have to protect you. You came in here and spoke to me in confidence. I don't know what the dynamics were in that particular area. I don't know who owed who favors or whatever. I have no idea. He only got 2 years, and he has a life in another town in the same state. And the principal went on to be the head of the superintendents of this state. So, and where am I? I'm 15 years of teaching, and I decided to get out because I didn't agree with Common Core, and then all else that is going on. I think y'all are well aware now of the education system and some of the problems. But it cost me. It cost me. And in a material world, it cost me. In a spiritual world, I did exactly what I should have done. And I can put my head on my pillow at night and not be afraid of my decisions. Those are the kind of things I'm talking about. What are you willing to lose materially? What are you willing to lose in friendships? Might cost you some of your family members. I don't know. I'm willing to lose to gain. To gain. And not be afraid. Ultimately. Of the big thing that's coming for all of us. So, I try to enjoy my life while I'm here, under whatever circumstances it is. Keep going every day. Try and influence my children in the best way that I can. And strive to be the best human being I can possibly be, which I know I constantly fail. but I don't want to fail on the big things. I don't want to fail on the big things. Because I believe I'm going to have to answer to those things. And if I don't get it right, but it's not only that, it's not like a punishment, it's just the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. It's a humbling of yourself. See, people think, fear of God, fear of God, fear of God, brimstones and fire, it's more like a humbling of yourself. I believe the word that was translated into fear in the Bible actually at its source in Hebrew meant more humbling yourself to God. See, so many things are lost in translation. So many things are lost in translation. Anything that man touches, you have to be very, you have to have discernment about all that as much as you possibly can, and pray for guidance. I hope this helps some of you. I really do. I hope it does. Keep those you're close to you as much as you can, and take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people. And stay humble. I know when I was talking last night, I'm not really into debating people. I definitely will listen. I'll listen to your point of view. I will respect your point of view. I just want to communicate my message, which I was allowed to do last night. And again, Kelly Ray, thank you for that. And then I'm gone. I'm out. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and I will be back on when I can. Bye for now.